President Museveni grabbed considerable attention in Rwanda with both a hero's welcome and a gallant farewell from the Chogamu. To put it in Ugandan slang, he stole the show. Thousands of Rwandans lined up on the roadsides from Katuna border to Kigali, the capital city of Rwanda, to welcome President Museveni. The same scenes played out on his departure from Kigali via Katuna to Uganda. This comes at a time when the two countries are just mending relations after a 5-year standoff that culminated into the closure of borders between the two countries for close to 3 years. To understand Rwanda's adoration of Museveni, one has to first dig into history, and that's what exactly this video is going to do. My name is Samuel L.J. Garandi with the Facts Africa. Around 1945, two events vital to this story occurred. First, President Yoweri Museveni was born in Uganda. And secondly, the Hutu elites began demanding for transfer of power from the Tutsi to Hutu in Rwanda. Now these two may seem unrelated, but they shaped a very significant part of the history of modern-day Great Lakes regional politics in general, and that of Rwanda most particularly. The second one culminated into a series of riots and arson attacks on Tutsi homes, following false rumors of the death of a Hutu sub-chief in an assault by Tutsi activists in 1959. Violence quickly spread across the whole country, beginning the Rwandan Revolution. The king and the Tutsi politicians launched a counterattack in an attempt to seize power and ostracize the Hutu and Belgians, but were thwarted by Belgian Colonel Guy Logiesti, who was brought in by the colonial governor. Logiesti re-established law and order and began a program of overt promotion and protection of the Hutu. He replaced many Tutsi chiefs with the Hutu and effectively forced King Kigeli V into exile. Logiesti and the Hutu leader Grigor Kayibanda declared the country an autonomous republic in 1961, and it became independent in 1962. More than 336,000 Tutsi left Rwanda by 1964 to escape the Hutu purges, mostly to the neighboring countries of Burundi, Uganda, Tanzania, and Zaire. Many of the Tutsi exilees lived as refugees in their host countries and sought to return to Rwanda. Among these was a young Paul Kagame and Fred Rwigema, who were refugees in Uganda. When Yoweri Museveni formed a rebel outfit to fight Milton Obote's government in Uganda, Kagame and Rwigema were among the first to join Museveni's National Resistance Army. These were later joined by another 500 Rwandan refugees that were suffering discrimination by the Obote II government.
But Obote is killing everybody, the peasants, the working class, young children. So on the side of human rights, the repression of Amin did not go as deeply as the repression of Obote.
After 5 years of a protracted guerrilla war, NRA defeated the then Okello Rutwa government in 1986, and Museveni was declared president of Uganda.
I, Yoweri Museveni, swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God.
After Museveni was inaugurated as a president, he appointed Kagame and Rwigema as senior officers in the new Ugandan army. Kagame, Rwigema, and a few other Rwandan refugees, inspired by the victory in Kampala, formed a rebel outfit to replicate the same in Rwanda. After 4 years of meticulous planning, recruitments, and training within and outside Uganda. The group of Rwandan refugees, known as Rwanda Patriotic Front, disappeared from Uganda into their motherland. Just a day into the war, the RPF leader Fred Rwigema was shot dead by what is said to have been a stray bullet. President Museveni sent his brother General Salim Saleh to investigate. Saleh recommended the arrest and execution of one of Rwigema's deputies, Peter Bayingana. Bayingana had been accused of shooting Rwigema over disagreement on war tactics. This angered the Hutu-dominated government in Rwanda, prompting it to launch an offensive on perceived Tutsi opponents. The civil war led to assassination of then Rwandan President Habyarimana, an event that sparked off the 1994 genocide, which is believed to have claimed over 800,000 lives of mainly the Tutsi. At the end of it all, RPF won power in Rwanda, reorganized the country, and ensured some semblance of peace reigns. Some Hutu fled to neighboring Uganda, DRC, and Tanzania. The Kagame administration maintained a keen eye on these exilees wherever they went. In Uganda, it led to a clash between the two countries, with each alleging serious accusations against the other. Uganda was accusing the Rwanda government of spying on them, while Rwanda accused Uganda of supporting Rwandan rebels to topple President Kagame's government and also persecuting their nationals. Museveni and Kagame's friendly relationship was reignited earlier this year after negotiations in which each country agreed to end hostilities. In April this year, Kagame visited Uganda, ending the hostilities. This Museveni visit communicates a reunion of these long-standing historical relations. The people of Rwanda see it as an end to the hostility between their leaders and the governments, which has negatively impacted them in the last 3 years. This is what explains the euphoria, love, and adoration of Museveni in Rwanda by mainly the minority ruling Tutsi. They see Museveni as a bridge to their current peaceful occupation of Rwanda. To an outsider, this may seem far-fetched, but one has to first comprehend the Tutsi's claim to power and authority in Rwanda. To clearly explain this, we take you thousands of years back into history when what is now called Rwanda was formed. The earliest inhabitants of what is now Rwanda were the Twa hunter-gatherers who settled in the area between 8000 BC and 3000 BC. A few of these still remain in Rwanda, and some are in Uganda. Between 700 BC and 1500 AD, Bantu groups migrated into the region and began to clear forest land for agriculture. This is when the Hutu came in and later the Tutsi. The forest-dwelling Twa lost much of their land and moved to the slopes of mountains. The remaining entrants organized power into the Kingdom of Rwanda, ruled by the Tutsi Nyiginya clan, and became dominant from the mid-18th century, expanding through conquest and assimilation. In the 19th century, the Kingdom of Rwanda was assigned to Germany by the Berlin Conference of 1884. Germany's policy was to rule through the Rwandan monarchy, enabling colonization with fewer European troops. The colonists favored the Tutsi over the Hutu when assigning administrative roles, believing them to be migrants from Ethiopia and racially superior. But during the First World War, Belgian forces took control of Rwanda and began a policy of more direct rule. This policy reduced the power and influence of the Tutsi elite in Rwanda. To worsen the situation, around 1945, Hutu elites began demanding for transfer of power from the Tutsi to the Hutu majority. Now this point takes us back to where the video began from. You have been a very good follower from the beginning up to the end. My name is Samuel L.J. Galandi. Catch you in another episode.